See if this draws a counterspell. That resolves. Try Massacre Worm. Please resolve. Please resolve. Please resolve. Pretty please? Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Maha. It's Feather's Night. Let's take a look at this opener. It's not really gonna work. Yeah, I'm mulligan that. Because Coffers isn't gonna make mana for a while. Oh god, that's even worse. And I'm like, oh, there's a Mask of Memory, but it's still, that's a lot of risk. Looks like we're gonna be going to 6. Better. That is better. Keep this. I guess we're... what are our opponents playing? Okay, I think we get rid of the Animate Dead. But, how often do you get to run this one? Liliana the Last Hope. Synergizes pretty well with our commander, so I thought this would be a fun little inclusion in the deck. But, with that, let's take a read of our commander. So, it's Maha, it's Feather's Night, 5 mana for a 6/5, Flying Trample, Ward, discard a card. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. That part's pretty disgusting. I was talking about this with someone in chat last night, and after looking at it for a couple minutes, I'm like, you know what? I think this is my kind of commander. So I've taken a more Voltron-y route with it, because, you know, it's me, and that's what I do. And my main plan here is cards like Nightmare Lash and Lash Writhe, along with, of course, Blackblade Reforged and Stratascythe. And I have a lot of things in here to, like, pump as many lands as humanly possible into play. We've got some Pestilence type effects, things that do 1 damage or -1/-1, because those synergize really well with our commander. As mentioned, Liliana the Last Hope. Also with this Cower in Fear, same sort of idea. There's a Cabal Stronghold, that'll be nice a little later on. Let's play a Swamp, and nothing to do on 1 here. But yeah, as we were kind of talking through the deck, and I'm just like, oh yeah, strapping a Lash Writhe on here seems like a great idea, and that used to be one of my go-to strategies like 10 years ago. And by 10, I mean like probably 13. Somewhere around 2011 when I was playing Shieldred. So yeah, anyway, I started looking at this, and I did see this when it was spoiled, and I'm like, oh, that does look pretty interesting, actually. And as we were talking about it, so obviously the Flying Trample does lend itself to Voltron. The toughness to 1 does lend itself to a lot of things that kill creatures. We have tons of that stuff in the deck. When I was talking to Flintlock about it, the one thing they did mention is that, like, they were thinking about doing a discard theme with it to be able to reliably have Ward. And that's not a bad idea. I will say that discard is not my favorite thing. It's very salt-inducing, but not always game-winning. Like, sometimes it is, but if someone gets, like, a Great Henge in play, discard can be not great, because they still draw and then everyone else doesn't. Yeah, nothing to do on 2. So one player can still be getting ahead, and if it, you know, in particular, if it's like every player discards a card type of thing, then like you might be losing cards. So like, yeah, I don't know, discard is a weird thing in this game. I will say sometimes a little bit of discard is necessary if someone's drawn, you know, 10, 15 cards at a time, has entirely too many cards in hand. Like a little discard the hand action might be warranted in that sort of situation, especially if there's like more and more combos and stuff like that. Like, you know, okay, someone goes on the big turn, they draw 15 cards, and they tap out, but they have no max hand size. Like, the only way you're probably going to beat that is by having some very quick alpha strike, or make them discard all those cards so they can't just win the game with what they have, right? Anyway, I thought that was a fun little thing to just kind of discuss with this, that you could do that. I didn't really go super deep with the discard. There's like maybe 2 or 3 cards that do it a little bit, but nothing insane in here. But anyway, yeah, this looks like a cool commander, and hopefully we'll have a good showing with it today. This is a pickup game of Magic Online, so no Patreons today. We've got Grima Soromon's Footman. I haven't seen this one. 4 mana, 1/4, it can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, and that player puts the exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of the library in a random order. So hit and cast the spell for free. Yeah, that could be pretty busted. Then we've got the Necrobloom over here. 4 mana for a 2/7 landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 0/1 plant token. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature instead. Lands in your graveyard have Dredge 2, so this is going to be a landfall deck. No love for that. We do see a Sylvan Safekeeper, which is a surprisingly annoying card in those style of decks. But luckily we have lots of things that do 1 damage to stuff. And then over here we have Shanded Sleeper's Scourge. 4 mana for a 2/4 Menace. Other legendary creatures you control have Menace. Whenever you play a legendary land or cast a legendary spell, you draw a card and lose a life. So I assume that'll be Mardu legendaries. And I would like to commend our opponents for having a reasonably fair start on Magic Online. No Soul Rings, no Mana Crypts, which is surprising. I do have both in this deck. For the most part, I'm not holding back with this deck, other than I'm not running Torment of Hellfire or Rise of the Dark Realms, which if I were being as spiky as possible, I would probably put those in. There's a Carry Zev. There's one I haven't seen in a long time. It was one of the first commanders I ever covered on this channel a long time ago. I can't remember what video exactly. It was probably around video number 5 or so. There's a swamp. Let's get the Bonders. No, let's get the Cabal in just in case of a wheel. The problem with the Carry Zev is that now I was planning to play the Liliana. Yeah, I wanted to play the Liliana and shoot the Safekeeper, but this would definitely just overrun the Liliana. So I think we're just drawing some cards here. We already have some -1/-1s in hand, so we can go the card draw mode on this one. Nice and flexible. Gotta love that. That's one thing I've tried to incorporate when I can, is trying to get a little bit more flexible with some of my card choices. Like, there's some interesting cards that have been printed over the past couple years that are like this, where there's, 2 or 3 modes. And in some sense, it's sort of tough because we're in the era of decks are all like super focused, and you need to be doing the main thing that your deck is supposed to be doing, which means, a lot of times you just put like very powerful cards for your deck into the slot, and it gets hard to justify these cards that like aren't best in slot. And, and the thing is, I do believe the game's at its best when people are not running entirely best in slot cards. I think this game is better when it is slower. The faster it gets, I think the worse it gets. That's my opinion. But anyway, these modal cards are interesting. I have been trying to incorporate them a little bit more, but it is tough to do so, because you're always thinking like, oh, I could just run this other thing that's way more powerful. But when I can, I've been trying to get these in here. There's the red one I like, which gives you exile off the top, and maybe destroys an artifact or something. Can't remember the name of it now. It's gone, but it's out of the Baldur's Gate set. Carry Zev going on the attack. Who's getting the monkey? I do think with our commander, we're not going to be like particularly well liked at the table. Monkey coming our way. Carry Zev over to the Grima opponent. Does Ragavan have Menace? I can't remember. No, but Carry Zev has Menace. Okay. Noted. No follow-up for opponent. They could have cast their commander right there. I don't know if that was a misclick. No black mana. All right. Well, good news for us. Play a Swan. Go Bonder's Enclave instead. Get it out of our hand, just in case of a wheel. Play the Solemn Simulacrum. Nice little blocker here. So like I said, I've gone hard on just trying to get a lot of swamps into play. Doing a bit of the Nightmare plan with Nightmare Lash. And I did have Nightmare in the deck for a minute, but I cut it because I'm like, we got too many 6-drops. Got to get rid of one. But I did really want to run it. So yeah, we got a Solemn Simulacrum into play. We finally get some ramp going. We'll pass like that. We'll get a maybe Inspiring Statuary. We could go for our commander next turn. We'll see how the board kind of shapes up here. Getting the Inspiring Statuary at some point won't be a terrible idea, especially with 2 artifacts, just so get a little more mana ramp. On the other hand, I guess, we could just cast our commander. Someone's probably going to shoot it if they have something. Like, this is a scary commander. If you're a creature deck, this is not a thing you want to see across the table. And, there are so many, 1-card combos with this commander that just wipe your opponent's board. There's a lot more than I was expecting, to be completely honest, because all of these instant sorcery ones that are 1 and 2 mana, for the most part, weren't really on my radar, just because you don't see them played all that much. But, there's a good number of those. You've got the stuff like Last Hope. You've got Knight of Souls Betrayal. You got the Curse. The Curse only hits 1 player. There's 2 Pestilence effects in this deck. You could go for a third if you go for Snow Covereds and Withering Wisps. So yeah, there's a lot of options to just completely decimate your opponent's creatures over and over and over again. So this is going to be one of those new Shieldred type of card things, or who's that other guy? Turgid. That's nasty, where you're just I can't let that live, right? I am nervous about just trying to run it down. Also nervous about this landfall deck. I should probably try to do something to slow them down at some point. Especially with, they've got Insidious Roots. Creature tokens you control, make an extra mana of any color whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, make a plant token, then put a +1/+1 again. Oh my god. Yep, that's a lot of stuff. And they now have a ton of plant tokens over there. Actually, if we just fire this down, how many things does that kill? Doesn't kill that. Yeah, maybe. I think we are just on the commander and try to wipe the board soon after that. I think that is the play. How about this? Finally got some new swamps. Got the Assassin's Creed land right here. Look pretty cool. I don't even know what set that is, but that's a cool looking swamp. More Assassin's Creed. I tried to get the Jurassic Park lands, but it wouldn't let me add them. I guess they're not available on Magic Online or something. I don't know. On Sarah's Wings, okay, that's going to get scarier. We'll also make it harder to kill, and I don't think it'll get caught up in the board wipe and our static effect, because if it's base toughness, well, this gets into like layers and weird stuff that I'm pretty sure if we cast our commander, this will still get +1 to toughness, so it means the Cower and Fear won't just kill it. But it does give them a way into the landfall opponent, I think where they're going. Still sending the monkey at us. We're going to take the damage because I have plans for the Solemn. As much as drawing a card is nice, I was looking at our mana. I think we could get the Inspiring Statuary and cast our commander, and that'd be a pretty sweet line. Down to 34. Here's a Demonic Tutor. That's a card. Play a Swamp. Alright, double check this math. So we pay 3 for the Inspiring Statuary, we tap it for 1, tap that for 1, and then we have 5 for our... Oh god. Whew. Almost skipped through the main phase there. That was scary. I'm going to take my hand off the button. So cast the Inspiring Statuary, and then cast our commander. We'll use this for mana and tap the Solemn for mana. And then we... Oh god, I tapped our colors wrong. Well, that's embarrassing. Now what? Good Demonic Tutor. What do we need? We're going to need card draw at some point, and probably pretty good amounts of it. Also, I mean, I think we were... One more Swamp, and I think we're mana positive on this. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah, I guess we just Demonic Tutor. What are we getting? Yeah, we need card draw pretty badly. I feel like that makes Erebos a good choice. We'll get Erebos. I guess there's also an element of, like, there's a blue-black deck here. Maybe, oh, okay, they're going to go Solemn. I was thinking, like, nah, they could have a board wipe. I think if I'm looking at this right, I think we can cast our commander and drop the board wipe next turn. Gonna put a Ghost Form on the commander. Okay. Gonna go over to the Mardu opponent. Yeah, opponent does the thing. Let's see what spell they hit. Hopefully nothing too terrible. Teferi's Protection is a no... Oh, you cast it from opponent's deck? That player. Okay, yeah, so it's the player you hit. Well, they remove opponent's Teferi's Protection at a time that, like, yeah, sure, I would love to, like, clean that stuff up, but I'm not... There'll probably be more opportunities to do so. So, yeah, burning it to Teferi's this early in the game, getting rid of it for one player who probably wanted it. Also, I guess that was their... well, we don't know where. I guess we don't know how many cards went to the bottom, but at some point they theoretically would have drawn that Teferi's. So yeah, burning at Teferi's early like this. I mean, the later a Teferi's gets cast into a game, if it doesn't get countered, like, that player's probably going to win the game. Like, after turn 8 or so, a Teferi's Protection is almost always game winning. And even many times by, like, turn 5 or 6, it often is. So yeah, that's a really good one to burn. I have a video I want to do, and I've got a lot of videos I want to do, and I need to devote the time to make them. When you start doing things that are different than when you normally do, it all takes a lot longer, and that's been kind of a headache. But anyway, one of the videos I want to do, I actually want to talk through, like, very common game situations, and, like, Teferi's Protection is a card that you need to be playing around, and protection spells in general, right? So when you're thinking about how and when you're going to use your removal, playing around Teferi's is a big deal. You know, the thing you have to be thinking in your head is... Okay, their board is medium scary right now, but if they untap and have a protection spell up, how much worse is it, right? And if they follow up with another creature, so let's say they're on like 7 mana, they cast a 4-drop, have 3 left for the Teferi's, you know, is that a game-winning position if I cast the board wipe and they Teferi's from that, right? So there are times where I've cast a board wipe a little earlier than I may have done necessarily because they're tapped out and because, you know, we need to get this stuff out of play so they can't just turn into like a giant snowball from the Teferi's. Opponent going on the attack again. Just going to swing into the Teferi's opponent. Love that because, like, we're a mono black deck. We burn our life pretty quickly. You know, the more that they poke us, the less cards we can draw. It's basically how that translates in mono black. We put ourselves into alpha strike range very quickly. There's a green deck at the table. There's a Mardu deck that looks like it wants to be aggressive but is stuck on mana at the moment. All right, that brings it back to our turn. So I vote that we go no mistakes this turn. We'll play this land right here. There's another cool looking land. I don't even know what that one's out of. Is that Thunder Junction? Is that Emrakul? Is that an Eldrazi? What is that? Anyway, let's cast our commander. Use the improv mechanic. Oh, wait, nope. Before we do that, almost made a mistake. Let's get our extra mana first from Cabal Stronghold. Now we've got 5 mana. Now let's do it this way. cast our commander. We'll use the Improvise Mechanic. Maha coming in. We've got a little bit of mana left over. Probably won't have like tons of... Yeah, we're probably going to run out. Because this costs 3. But, well, you know what though? Because this is an instant. We can wait for opponent to Teferi's back in. I like that. Oh no, we don't have the mana. Okay, yeah, we just got to do it now then. Whoops. Whew. Thinking myself in circles here. This doesn't happen to be an artifact, does it? It is not. So, we cast the Cower in Fear, a card that I've never cast before. And we clean up all this landfall nonsense that, you know, I was getting very nervous about that. I was just going to spiral out of control horribly. So, that is all dealt with now. Love that. And feeling all right. Slow this game down a little bit. We got to worry that, like, they don't just hit some insane thing somewhere. But I guess it's off opponent's deck, so that's harder to plan for. But I don't know. There could be, like, a Reshape the Earth in here, and that would be fairly game-breaking. So, getting to do the thing with Maha one time. Love that. Opponent did get some 1/2s back on the exchange, but overall, they will have lost the Sylvan Safekeeper, which is good for spot removal, and importantly, their commander's out of play. So, you know, it'll take them a turn to recast that. Buy ourselves a little bit of time. See what opponent's thinking here. Can't be blocked, so there is no blocking with that thing. Yeah, they're going to come our way. Yeah, you know, if I were them, I'd probably take my chances with the mono black deck also. Like I said, well, I don't know that an X spell would do them any favors, but, like, you know, there are some nasty spell. Rise of the Dark Realms, Living Death. No Living Death in here, but there's a decent number of card draw spells for sure, and definitely a lot of these, like, at least a few of these -1/-1 things, so it all just depends on what they hit. What'd they get? Nope, they're going to copy it, so it's going to be 2 spells. First one's a Siphon Mind. A little annoying, but not the end of the world. Targeting. Oh, it's each other player, so we're going to have to discard. I used to use this one a lot back in the day, and I haven't used it a lot more recently. I like the consistency of Ambition's cost, just in case you get, like, low on players at the table. But in this deck, where, you know, you want opponent's hands to get a little bit smaller for the discard, does make sense. As a Deadly Rollick on our commander, they will need to discard a card. Yeah, that one's more annoying. How does the ward work? Do you need to pay it beforehand, or can you pay it as it's, like, as this trigger is resolving? They discard a card. Okay, so our commander's going to go down. Back to the command zone. Swiftfoot Boots, oh no! That's going to interfere with our plans. I was thinking, like, try to get commander back. I don't know if we have enough mana, but then Liliana the Last Hope and get rid of their commander. Or at least, you know, get that process rolling. Okay. That is annoying. Also, it's tough too, because then, like, just shooting it, or, like, even if we get it out of play, they can cast it with haste. I see that becoming very annoying. A little artifact and enchantment removal over here would be nice, just because, like, you know, other opponents have lost some stuff. If they can put them in a position to lose some stuff too, that'd be very good for us. The Necrobloom coming back. Yep. What'd they discard? Mystic Sanctuary. There's probably going to be some combos with that. Don't know that I put Graveyard Exile in here. Probably should have. If they discarded that, what's in their hand? Well, I guess they don't have it. Yeah, I guess they don't have any instances or sorceries in their graveyard yet, so maybe that's the line that they were thinking. But yeah, they're kind of set up now, so that the fairies did, you know, a little more than. I mean, it's still a good card, right? Better than it coming down in turn 8, but you know, they would have lost some stuff had they not been Teferi's out. Shanid finally coming in. Swinging our way, don't love it. Sending the Ragavan over to blue-black opponent. Down to 31. Jet Medallion is okay. Play the Swamp. Activate the Cabal Stronghold. That's 6 black mana. Love that. Get the Jet Medallion. Oh, that's another mana rock now, too. Glad I put this in here. I probably need to use this a little more than I do. It does get weird in Voltron decks, though. Yeah, cast Erebos. Maybe let's leave the Solemn untapped. I think we need the blockers. Cast Erebos. Now let's do some card draw. Another Swamp. Blood Artist is a funny Magic card. Do I want to show Blood Artist? Maybe not. I think it'll be too much of a lightning rod. Everyone will be able to kind of see where that's going. Another Swamp. Okay, so didn't quite get what I was looking for, but I guess we pass like that. We are doing really well in the mana war, so with Stronghold, if it sticks, we should be making 7 mana with it next turn. We've got the Inspiring Statuary, so we've got the most mana by a pretty good margin. Our board state's a little behind some of the others, but there's a Sangromancer in the deck. There's another one that can just gain us like tons of life. Given an attack now, I may trade the Solemn Simulacrum. If someone wants to send something in that we can block. Dazzling Sphinx. Deals combat damage to a player. That player exiles a card from the top of their library until they exile instant source and may cast it without paying its mana cost, and puts it. So it's basically the same thing as his commander, just another effect of it. Move the boots to it. Move the boots to it. Good news is that they don't have the mana for the Strionic Resonator. I'm gonna go over to the Landfall opponent, okay, and the Mardu opponent. 2 spells. That's a Dam. That's gonna destroy the Necrobloom. That's decent for us. And a Realms Uncharted. 4 land cards, different names, reveal them. Oh no. Oh no. That could be bad if there's anything with this. Urborg, Exotic Orchard, Island, Swamp. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Dread Return, getting back their commander. Nice. Yeah, if their commander goes down again, the bill for that's going to be real steep. Even, what are they? Yeah, because if it goes down again, what is that, 8, I think? Oh, card leaves the graveyard. Okay, now they make a plant and pump up the plants. Okay. The counters will be bad for what our deck is doing. Didn't really think about that. That minus or plus counters will mess up. Should be a Black Sun Zenith in here. Hope I put that in. Yeah, we got a Black Sun Zenith, Meat Hook Massacre, and I think there's also a Toxic Deluge. Yep. Okay. There's the Scape Shift. This should get disgusting. So if this makes like a bajillion tokens, we basically just want to find a board wipe and then Blood Artist and go to town with that. Yeah, it's like 4 triggers, and I think they all get doubled. Ooh, and they grabbed a Strip Mine. Don't love that. Yep, we're the only one with the interesting land. So our mana might get much smaller here very soon. Yeah, that's a lot of plants. Looks like 12 tokens. Oh, plus a Glacial Chasm and a Field of the Dead. Okay. Means we probably got to hit them with the Blood Artist. See what opponent's got. Smothering Tithe is not great. So they will get all the mana off of our card draw, probably. Opponent's going to swing with the Carry Zev again. Unfortunately, this has Menace now, so we can't block it. But it's also, okay, it's all going, also going over to the blue-black opponent, so get their life total moving a little bit. We need a big draw. We do have some extra draws, but I don't want to have to spend all of our mana trying to draw cards. Really kind of looking toward a board wipe. We need to clean the board up. Opponent goes down to 33. Smothering Tithe. Black Sun Zenith is exactly that board wipe. Nope, make your treasure. Make your treasure. Play a Swamp. Ooh, what swamp is this? This thing looks cool looking. Okay, what's the biggest thing on board? That's a 4. That's a 5. That's an 8. Ooh, that's rough. Although, there are counters on that, and those will go away, so it does get small. So yeah, it'll go back to 7. Question is... So we could just wipe the... I mean, we're getting low on life, so we should Blood Artist. We're going to lose the Blood Artist in the board wipe. There's a little bit of reanimation in the deck, but I think it's going to be worth it. Only issue is that, you know, if they start getting tricky with the Glacial Chasm, it could be really difficult to kill them. Yeah, I mean, I think we just go on that plan. Also, we draw a card when we wipe the board, so that's good. Okay, let's make the mana. 7 black mana. Love that. Cast a Blood Artist, and we'll... I want to improvise here. How do I improvise the thing? I don't think I improvised properly. Blood Artist, Black Sun. X is currently 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I think we have exactly enough to get our... No, our commander is 5, so we'll go to 7, so we'll be a little short on that. Oh, no, we have the Jet Medallion in play. I think we can get our commander back. That's a lot of Blood Artist triggers. Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to go to the player with the Glacial Chasm, because it's going to be tough to get damage on them. Oh, God, this is going to take forever. Opponent's not going to be thrilled about this, but they do have a Glacial Chasm, and they are the Landfall deck, so, in my opinion, they've earned it. Plus, they got, like, 2 enchantments in play that aren't particularly easy for us to deal with, so there's also that. Opponent may have misclicked with the wording on the Kaya's Ghost form. We'll find out about that in a moment. If they don't get their commander back, that's actually huge. That's a huge tempo play for us. They do not. Nice. So yeah, it's a bit of trickiness with Magic Online. You need to not send your commander to the command zone to get that effect. One's gonna get some treasures, so the Mardu opponent's probably gonna get a pretty good crack at it on their turn to rebuild, because a couple solemn triggers here, opponent's draw steps. Use the ability. See what we draw and do. Another swamp. Flooding a little. Sort of Forge and Frontier wouldn't be awful. Get the swamps out faster. And just auto those triggers. Opponent goes down to 14. We're up to 46. Love that. Go to our second main because I accidentally clicked through. Things were getting real laggy. And I think we can get our commander back right here. Can we not? Oh, maybe we can't. Bummer. In that case, opponent's gonna have all the mana they scooped. That's the Necroboom's still in play. Well, we probably want to shoot that then. Yeah, okay, just cast his Liliana then. Opponent just called us board wipe tribal. I mean, kinda. Yeah, like I said, this is not going to be a particularly fun deck for opponents to face down. Getting to shoot someone with the Liliana of the Last Hope. Love that. And then we'll just draw a card and call it a day. Massacre Worm is a funny card. Importantly, Massacre Worm is also a lot of life loss, so we can get through that Glacial Chasm if we need to. And with the rate that they're spitting out tokens, that should not be terribly difficult. Ugh, Consecrated Sphinx. Importantly, they can put boots on that and then kill our Planeswalker, which I'm not thrilled about. Do we get Strip Mine this turn? Because opponent doesn't actually have that much mana. And, like, I feel like they're probably going to need that land. It's going to hurt if we do, but Consecrated Sphinx also changes things around here. Go into our face. I'll take our face. And they're going to leave the Planeswalker? Love that. What's the other mode in this thing? Mill 2 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's... Oh, we can get the Blood Artist back. We can get the Blood Artist back. Love that. That's how we're going to win this game. Opponent is probably about to draw many, many cards, though. There's the Glacial Chasm. Opponent keeps it in play, goes down to 12. Consecrated Sphinx trigger. Yeah, for the landfall deck, the opponent really hasn't ramped that much. They did lose that Realms Uncharted, which they would have theoretically seen within a few turns toward the early game, which, you know, that sets you up for the late game pretty nicely. Ooh, leaving that Strip Mine up. Don't like that. Ah, they tapped it. Nice. They go to get their commander back. Love that. Love that. What do we do about the Consecrated Sphinx, though? That card is, like, actually a problem. Cracks of Windswept Heath. Exploration. Okay. Opponent has 5 creatures. So, combination of Massacre Worm and Blood Artist will kill them with our commander. We do need the mana. Well, I think we're in good shape. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now we're in great shape. Gonna use opponent's tokens against them. I have no love for Field of the Dead. This will be a great exercise in punishing them for the amount of tokens that they're making. Man, I haven't played Mono Black in a long time, and just like, you know, you stare down a Glacial Chasm, and then you realize, like, how strong life loss is. They get back the Sylvan Safekeeper. That's okay. We're not worried about that in this moment. They can get the Sylvan Safekeeper all they want. They did have a pretty good turn, though, right? Like, all things considered, that their commanders died like 3 times. They didn't have tons of mana. I guess they have some powerful enchantments, but, you know, that's a really good rebuild right there. If it wasn't about to kill them, I'd actually be pretty scared. Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, we gotta worry about that, too, at some point. And, you know, this could be Counterspell mana, and they're drawing cards at an alarming rate here. If they wanted to go Strionic Resonator to draw 2 extra right here, I'd probably like that. Let's play the Swamp, because we're getting double off the Swamps. Activate the Cabal Stronghold. That is 8 black mana. Love that. Let us mill 2 and return a creature. Get back the Blood Artist. Cast our commander. Use the Improvise. See if this draws a counterspell. That resolves. The question is a Massacre Worm going to get through? Still have a lot of mana, though. Yeah, man, try a Blood Artist. Try a Massacre Worm. Please resolve. Please resolve. Please resolve. Pretty please? Opponent says he can kill 1. The good news is that killing 1 doesn't stop the Massacre Worm, so at least that means this player dies. And then we just kind of take our chances with the others here. So, I mean, I guess the good news is we've got them in a rock and a hard place. Oh, they're going to go Blood Artist? I would love it if you go Blood Artist. Okay, going to destroy the Blood Artist. That is okay, because that means Massacre Worm's still going to land and kill all this stuff, particularly the Consecrated Sphinx, which is a card that can beat us, right? Like, that's... The mass amount of tokens can beat us, the Consecrated Sphinx can beat us. Actually killing the commander there probably makes the most sense, because then their Consecrated Sphinx survives, and they can keep punishing us with that, and they'll draw us into oblivion. On the other hand, they would lose, you know, probably about 15 life on that Blood Artist. Massacre Worm trigger. Man, Massacre Worm, I've been running this thing since like 2011, and it just always overperforms. It finds a way to make itself useful, cleans out the board, often kills players. So good. It just feels like there's never been a point where it hasn't been good, even when the game was dominated by like Eldrazi and 6-mana Titans and stuff like that. It's just always solid. Opponent scoops. Yep, there's a bunch of Massacre Worm triggers, so Not losing to the landfall deck today. Love that. Still got a little ways to go with the blue-black deck here. They're on the back foot, but they have drawn a lot, and the combination of boots and can't be blocked is like kind of a nightmare, to be completely honest. Next step is, yeah, let's just go to combat. Finally get somewhere with this Erebos. Send that in. It's currently got 5 power. We'll pass like that, and we'll draw on the end step. So we're in the driver's seat. We're at 41, opponent's at 23. There are things that could mess us up. Mass bounce would not be great. Even just a regular board wipe would slow us down considerably. Also, big punt from opponent earlier. Not attacking the Liliana, because that gave us the Blood Artist. That Blood Artist took the kill spell, right, as opposed to something more meaningful, taking the kill spell. I'm sure I'm not going to like this. Target opponent chooses X cards from their hand. Look at the top. Look at those cards. You may cast a spell from them. Joke's on them. Have a look at those lands. Surprise. That's probably good game, actually. See, what, 4 mana to do that? They don't have a ton of mana left. Whatever play they needed to make, they were probably counting on something big coming out of our hand. Also, big moment, too, is that opponent misclick with the Kaya's Ghost form, right? If their commander comes back, that is a world of headache for us. Spell Twine, you say? On Deadly Rollick, well, before that happens, let's just draw some cards. Another Swamp. We be flooding. Soul Ring. More mana. Even more mana. See what they're thinking? Yeah, they can kill 2 things here. See if they get the order right, because I think if this becomes not a creature, then that's very good for us. Shoots our commander, yeah. Deadly Rollick, yeah, on the Erebos. Okay, yep, card draw's gone. Luckily we have 2 card draw lands now, so still have some backup. They'll need to discard a card. I would like to really catch a Lash Writhe, because I love Lash Writhe and Nightmare Lash, and that's how I would like to end this game. Back to the command zone. Okay, so nice little play out of opponent right there. Does slow us down, buys themselves more time. Gets rid of some big pieces in our commander and Erebos. Deluge is not really what we need right here. Play the War Room. Play the Soul Ring. Activate the Cabal Stronghold. Draw with War Room. Oh, another land. Draw with Bonder's Enclave. Ascendant of Incer is at least a creature. A cool one at that. And does present more challenges for them, because then, like, if they cast something... Well, I guess it only hits non-black creatures. Is that all the card draw? That was all the card draw. We have, what is that, 8 mana? Can we recast our commander again? Commander is back. Definitely don't have enough for that. I'm not going to minus anything, but we will plus our Liliana. So we can get something back next turn without losing it. And okay, that seems okay. Send in the Massacre Worm. Yeah, they slowed us down a lot. Didn't catch that Lash Writhe like we were hoping. Down to 15. Pass like that. One of the big things, too, is that we never got Strip Mined. If we get Strip Mined, it's a very different game. We're making so much mana with this Stronghold. And that's also why I was trying to get that Landfall player out, because, you know, this can win us the game. Killing this could make life really difficult for us. So, like, if this got shot and we had the turn last turn where we lost both of those things, I actually see the world in which the blue-black deck could win from that position. Still need the right cards and got to make good plays, but there's a much bigger opening if the Stronghold went down. So Commander comes in. Yep, put the boots on it. Yeah, unfortunately, Ascendant of Incer is not going to hit that. Soul Ring. Non-black creatures get -1/-1. It is, unfortunately, a black creature. In it comes. Yep, nothing for it. Double it. How bad's it going to be? Hopefully they hit 2, like, card draw spells or something. Ambitions cost. There we go. Card draw spell. And reduces their life total. They're now actually in death range. We need no additional things to kill them. Assuming they don't hit a removal spell here. They're going to hit us with a Sudden Spoiling. That shouldn't do too much. Siphon Insight. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent. Exile 1 face down, or the one on the bottom. You may play it exiled as though we're mana. Okay. They get one of our cards face down. They play a land. Mana Crypt. Play a Mana Crypt. I'm going to ham it. We could just go to combat and kill them. Really trying to find a Lash Writhe here. Swamp. Activate the Stronghold. Draw the War Room. Liliana's Reaver is okay. No, not great without haste, though. Draw again. Did they scoop? It stopped. So I think opponent was just going to let the timer run out, which is super annoying. So while that's happening, we can take a dive through the deck. So we got the creature control portion of our deck. We drew most of that and a lot of lands. We did not get to the Nightmare Lash, Lash Writhe, Blackblade Reforged portion of the deck, which I was kind of hoping to get to. Also, we've got some fun stuff in here like Viridian Longbow and Thornbite Staff, which can get very silly. Again, more in the creature control category. But yeah, I mean, I thought the deck did what I thought it would do. And, we got a little bit of punishment. They hit us with that Deadly Rollick. That messed us up a little bit. The turn where I missed sequence, I was actually thinking about that turn too. Opponent had an Urborg in play at some point, and I don't know if it was in on that turn. I'd have to go look. But we may have actually been able to cast our commander that turn, which allows us probably a little more mana the following turn to do more stuff. So, like, there was some tempo-y stuff there. But opponents, we made some mistakes. Opponents made probably more mistakes than we did. Again, not strip mining the Stronghold and not attacking the Liliana. They used that removal spell on the Blood Artist instead of on the commander or something else. And, that was a moment too. And I mean, honestly, the other opponent scooping, like, they had a Smothering Tithe and they were going to have a bunch of treasures when it got back to their turn. At some point that Consecrated Sphinx came down, they would have even more treasures. They would have had an opportunity to make a play, right? And, I think the big thing is that, like, if they worked together, then I don't think we were strong enough to really, like, hold off two players really coming for us. Which is also why, like, with the Blood Artist, I just went all in on one player because we really needed to eliminate some stuff. So, but yeah, I thought the deck played well. Anything, I would have loved to have seen a Pestilence effect just because I've always had a fondness for Pestilence effects. Always wanted to make the Pestilence deck. And never really got around to it, so I guess this is the de facto Pestilence deck now. Question is going to be, how many of these -1/-1, like, particularly sorcery type cards do you run? I don't know that you need to go wild. My guess is, like, no more than 2 to 3, but also probably depends on your meta and a bunch of other stuff, and if you have, like, all the, like, enchantment-based versions of it, that sort of thing. Oh, did the game just end? Oh, the game just ended. Sad. So anyway, there it is. Getting a win with Maha, first time out of the box, and can't really complain. I thought it was exactly annoying as I suspected it would be. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. So recently I've been working on a secret project that's really cool, but it's also going to be horrendously expensive to get filmed. So I greatly appreciate anything you guys are able to contribute to the Patreon in order to fund that video, and I hope to be able to share it soon. And of course, thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome.